Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Felipe, and today we're going to be talking about finding the right property managers for the most expensive investment you're probably ever going to make, rental properties. Let's get started. Alright guys, before we get started though, please hit that like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out more than you think, and us YouTubers don't say it just to be funny or whatever the case may be. It really does help. So hit the blue button, make it a thumbs up, and it helps so much. I would really appreciate it. Okay, now let's just get right into it. Finding the right property managers is probably absolutely key when investing in real estate, and I'll tell you why. A good property manager, if you're investing out of state, in-state, whatever, can make or break your whole portfolio depending on how many properties you give them. So what are some of the steps, Felipe, to finding a great property manager? Well, I'll tell you. One of the things that I like to do is, first things first, right off the bat, do they have a website? If their website is nice and clean, it just tells me that they're going to care about my property and they're going to care about what they're doing, how they represent themselves. Imagine having a good website like a gentleman in a suit and tie versus a guy who's, I don't know, ripped jeans and a tank top, right? A good website is going to tell me a lot that I need to know about the property management company. Okay, they have a great website. It looks great. They got some Google reviews on there. Easy to find, clean website. What's the next thing? The next thing I do is I'm going to call asking if they have any tenancy available. Do they have anything vacant that I can go see? And potentially even go through that process of trying to go see if I can see the property. What are their processes and procedures to go see this property? Because this is the same way that they're going to treat your property, right? You don't want to be just a number in their book. You want to ask questions. Are you animal friendly? Are you this? Are you that? Can I go see the property? How quickly can I see it? If it's like, oh, we're 2 months out, but you know you have a vacant property, then it might not be the best deal for you, right? So I would ask that. Can I see the property? Can you show me? Are they professional? Are they on time? These are questions that you want to ask on the phone as if you were going to rent a place, because this is how they're going to answer questions for your tenants. So that's the next step. Let's say they did a great job with that. You go walk a property. It looks great. You're ready to rock and roll to hire them, right? Wrong. Next thing you want to do is you want to ask some questions about processes and procedures in regards to what happens if a tenant gets locked out? What happens if a tenant doesn't pay? What happens if a tenant brings in extra people that aren't supposed to live there? Can somebody live in the property that doesn't have a lease? There's all the questions that you want to ask property managers, how they would handle certain situations, because that's how they're going to handle your property. So let's say they pass all those tests. They're doing great. You really enjoy these people. They pick up the phone on the first ring. They call you back when they say they're going to call you back. One of the main things that I'm going to ask after this is, how do they handle maintenance requests? This is crucial because your tenants are paying you money, and you don't want them to say, oh, well, they got to bring it in, or they have to submit it through a portal. That's like super hard to go through. What you want to do is you want to see if they can get issues fixed within the first 24 to 48 hours, because these tenants are paying you rent. So you want them to be as efficient as possible. Great. They have a good property manager in place they have a good handyman or something in place to handle repairs pretty quickly. Great. You move on to the next step. And the next step is going to be very simple. You're going to ask them what is their application process look like? Do they have a paper application? Can they submit it in a portal? What does the application process look like is very important, because it needs to be smooth for your future tenants. Side note, paying rent needs to be just as easy. They don't need to jump through hoops and loops and all these things to pay rent. Is it a quick, just two clicks to pay the rent, or do they have to go through this outlandish payment option? Quick story. My uncle lived in the same duplex for the past 15 years. And as far back as I can remember, he would drive 30 to 45 minutes to drop off the rent because they didn't have a portal to pay it through. That is terrible, right? He should have been able to get online, click and pay, and move on with his life, not have to do a whole ordeal about it. And I promise you, he was probably late more than often because he had to make plans to go pay the rent. It's an hour and a half, both ways. So is the portal to pay the rent easy, right? Now, if you cover these bases, you're probably going to get a good property management company to manage the most important investment of your life, which is your rental property. So make sure you ask these questions. Now, if you like the video, please give it a like, a comment, and a subscribe if you haven't. These videos that I try to make for you guys is things that I've gone through, and I really hope that they've helped you. Thanks, guys.